celebrated as a country independence. I find it quite amazing that we will be celebrating this on post-celebration of what has happened in Europe with the United Kingdom. There were some people that were upset and saying that they should not have seceded from the Union and they should not have been independent, but I find it strange that we as Americans have a hard time understanding civil liberties from individuals when we built this country off of our own desires to be free. But we built this country off of our own desires to be free because of the fact that we wanted something more for ourselves. Amen. We wanted representation. We wanted to feel that we matter. But in doing that, it is amazing how we begin to enslave other individuals by us having our freedom. I find it quite strange that the only way that we feel that we must be comfortable is by enslaving someone else. And the question has then, well, what makes it right? What makes it wrong? And it goes back to the conversation that I was having earlier, which is that we have to look at the Word of God. We have to look at the Bible and begin to see what is it that will allow us to maintain, to be right in His eyesight. What is it that we need to be learning to realize that, am I being selfish or am I being selfless? Because, Father, it hurts me sometimes. And then we go into this situation saying, God, out of everything I'm going through, of all of this stuff you're telling me that you promised me, why me? Why am I the one that has to give up the most? Why am I the one that has to sacrifice? Why am I the one that's lacked? Why am I the one that's being overlooked? Why am I the one that's being downtrodden? Why am I the one that people talk about? Why am I the one that can't seem to get what I want? Why not? Why is it me? Why me? And when we begin to ask ourselves why me, we begin to go into this spiral, begin to feel in the hurt. Because have you ever noticed when you begin to look at why me, you begin to think about everything else that happened to you that you did not like? Or is that just me? You begin to look at things and say, I'm not comfortable with that. And we begin to realize and have our own self-pity party. We begin to look at things and say, you know what, it's not fair. And then we have to feel like, how do we deal with this hurt? So now we're dealing with God, why me? And then we're dealing with the hurt of why God did it to me and why God allowed it to happen to me and why do I have to keep enduring this and going through this? And my question, my statement to you is, first of all, if you're asking yourself why me and you're soaking in the pain, you're not enduring anything. Yes, I know that's a hard statement to take. What do you mean, Pastor? It means this. See, if you're having a pity party and you're fighting against it, you're not enduring it. But what do you mean? If you're ill and I give you medicine to take, and it's the nastiest medicine in the world, okay? I remember when I was a little kid, I really never got sick, had perfect attendance, but every morning I had to take some some Father John, some cream of motion, a pinch of sulfur, and some turpentine. I swear, you should not ingest turpentine. But it was a medical turpentine, but you should not, but it was like a drop of turpentine. Now, can you imagine that as a kid? Most of y'all looking like, well, how are you still alive right now? But the thing is, you know that all three of those are some nasty things, am I correct? Do they sound like they're good to taste? They were nasty. But it kept me from getting sick, believe it or not. You know? But the thing is, if I spat the medicine out, was I enduring it? If I resisted the medication, was I enduring it? The only way I was enduring it is if I ingested it and let it become a part of me and let it do what it's supposed to do in me. Amen? Y'all don't want to hear me this morning. That's the thing. We're not letting God's perfect work in us. If you turn with me to Philippians chapter 4, start with verse 9. When Paul is teaching, he says, be full of joy in the Lord always. Read this. Be full of joy in the Lord always. Be full of joy in the Lord always. And he says, I will say again, be full of joy. I want you to get this. The very first thing that Paul says is, no matter what's going on, I need you to always be full of joy. That means that in your situation, you must find God in that and realize that God is working through that. Whether it is comfortable or uncomfortable for you, be joyful because God is working in that situation. In the situation that you're in, no matter if you're homeless or you're living a bound or a base, God is there. Whether you're living in bountiful or lack, God is there. Whether you're living in sickness or health, God is there. Whether you're living in happiness or sadness, God is there. No matter what is going on, God is there. Imprisoned or free, God is there. And what he's saying is, in the midst of whatever it is, be of joy always. Do not let anything take over the joy, because you will miss God in the midst of it. He says, let everyone see that you are gentle and kind. The Lord is coming soon. Do not worry about anything. Now the other word says, be anxious for nothing. The other version says, be careful for nothing. But it's do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And God's peace, which is so great we cannot understand it, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Brothers and sisters, think about the things that are good and worthy of praise. Think about the things that are true and honorable and right and pure and beautiful and respected. Do what you learned and received from me, what I told you, and what you saw me do. And the God who gives peace will be with you. Now, here's the thing in this. In our lives, we want to question God. We want to question his ways. We want to question his actions and everything that he does. But the first thing Paul is trying to get them to understand is that in the midst of your situation, you must find it and count it all joy. Does that sound hard? Yes, it does. Because we're in the midst of looking at a situation saying, why me? You know, we could always go back to Job and sit back and say, look at Job and why me, Lord? And God is simply saying, why not you? Why shouldn't I choose you, Job? I find you upright in all your ways. You can look at David and you can sit back and say, well, listen, God, you called me, but why me? Why not you, David? You was a boy that was able to stand against a lion and a bear. Why not you? You know what it is to be overlooked sometimes and cast down. I allowed you to be overlooked at times, but it happens. Why not you? Joseph, why not you? Because you were looked out, overlooked, cast down, but because of that, you understood what it meant to be downtrodden. You understood what it meant to be a black. You understood what people were going through. See, the problem is we don't take time to realize what's out when we're out here in the muck, in the mud. We don't take time to realize what's really going on around us and the people that are there to how to reach them. Because when God removes you and elevates you, you have to remember there are people that were still there that are trying to get out. For some of you that was looking at your Bibles, I'm going to help you out here. In the King James Version, it says, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brother, whosoever you trust, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good report, if there be any virtue, And if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. See, here's the thing. We have to get to a point where we stop asking, why me? We have to first begin to look at ourselves and say, why not? Ask yourself this, are you upstanding? In your situation that you're going through, that you're feeling this hurt, are you operating the way God intends for you to operate? Are you in his intensive will? Some of us are not even in his permissive will. We're just out of the will because it's uncomfortable. You know, are we where God needs us? Or are we just where we're comfortable in our misery and sin? Because you know, sin is comfortable. Y'all know that, right? Sin is comfortable. Anybody who tells you that is not is lying. It's easier to do the things of the flesh than it is the things of God. It's easier to turn up and get angry than it is to stay calm and be cool. We've noticed that, haven't we? It's easy to get an attitude. It's harder to calm down and overlook it and let God have his way, which is the peace of God. We got to ask ourselves, what is God? Why not us? What is God trying to do? Why is he trying to break us? Or is he trying to make us? When we look at Moses, and Moses had to go to Pharaoh and had to deal with Pharaoh denying him. When God sent him, I always say, it's a dummy mission to say, go and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. And God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Why would God do that? Because God had to prepare Moses. He had to prepare him for a time when the people would not hear him. And he had to know that God was all he had. God sometimes puts you through things to realize it doesn't matter what the people say. Only thing that matters is your relationship with God and being right with God. Because being right with God will be very, very unpopular. It's not going to be the way that the majority wants to go. So we have to realize in our lives that there's a time that we have to say, listen, I have to realize, do I want to be comfortable in sin or endure uncomfortability with God? We have to ask ourselves, are we willing to learn when we're dealing with this hurt? Are we willing to learn from this? Are we willing to just stay in this? Are we willing to just, you know what? I'm just gonna deal with this pain and deal with this hurt and just change the way I think and change. You've seen people that they've been hurt and then they change who they are? You've seen that? They allow the hurt to change them. They allow what people did to them to change them. And God is saying, no, see, that wasn't supposed to happen. Can you imagine what it would look like if Christ had allowed the hurt from man to change his path and change who he was? That would have been a terrible thing for us, wouldn't it? Am I right? Y'all quiet. I know this is an uncomfortable message. Because one thing we don't want to do, we don't ever want to hear about what it takes to endure and be right. It hurts. But how can you grow from it? See, this is that Father John cream emotion sulfur Timotine message. The one that it tastes terrible going down. But it does a whole lot of good once it's there. But you got to endure it. And then you got to ask yourself, do you want peace in your situation? After you realize you're willing to learn, what is it God has you there for? What is it you're preparing me for? God, I'm open-minded to you. I realize right now I'm in a place in ministry in my life where I'm having to be open-minded and learn. God, why do you have me going through this? I know it's something you're teaching me. What is it you're preparing me for? What is it you're removing from me? What is it you're stretching me from? What is it you're purging me from? What is it that you've taken the plumb line and lined up to me? What is it, God? Because I realize that more and more I'm getting closer to you, and I realize I'm getting closer to you, and I realize I'm getting closer to the blessing, because more and more I see the temptation of other things coming my way. More and more I see the temptation of anger. More and more I see the temptation of sin. More and more I see the temptations had in my way that are set to devise to kill me. And I realize that. So what is it right now, God, that you're about to do? Yeah, no, I'm trying not to be anxious for it, because I know that you say be careful for nothing, be anxious for nothing, but be patient and wait and be diligent. God, but I know it, so I will not sacrifice it because of the fact of some mere comfort that's going to come my way. And we have to get to that situation in our lives where we say, no matter what is going on, we realize what God is about to do and that movie's about to make, and it's going to be uncomfortable for some people, it's going to be uncomfortable for you, but it's called growing pains. It's called growing pains. And you have to learn how to handle it. And then you have to ask, do you want peace in that situation? Sometimes peace comes with the acceptance of a situation and loving in spite of. He says that he'll give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. And the conversation was having earlier, someone said to me, so you could rather have discourse in your house, all because of God and what the Bible says, and then rather have peace. Here's my question. If it's not God, it's not peace. Get what I'm saying? If it's not God, it's not peace. Just because I put a silencer on a gun and then fire it and you never hear it, it doesn't mean that someone is still not being killed. Am I right? Just because you silence a situation doesn't mean the situation is still not explosive and still not there. Only thing you did was silence it, but it's still there. The only way to eliminate it is to eliminate the explosion and eliminate what's causing the explosion. Sometimes that means a change of thought, a change of action, a change of mindset, a change of scenery. It means that. Sometimes it means you just got to change and move away. Move people out, move them around. Because you have to realize when there's unpeace, when you're dealing with the unpeaceful situation all around, and you're dealing with people that just don't want peace. You know, because there's some of us have times that we just, if you really think about it, a lot of us, we find something, we just don't want peace. We don't want peace. Pastor, how can you say that everybody wants peace? No, you don't. Because if you wanted peace, you would stop dealing. If you want peace in your life, stop thinking and dealing with stuff that you know did not bring you peace. Once you're moved on, it's moved on. I remember I said this years ago. Don't bring me no bad news. I don't need it. What happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago, it doesn't matter. Listen, that happened, I learned, we moved. Don't keep bringing it up to me. I ain't got time for that no more. I don't. You're not giving me peace. You want to keep dwelling on how someone hurt you, how someone did this to you. That's the reason you're still having that hurt. That's the reason why you can't move forward, because you keep thinking about what they did and how they did and how you felt. It doesn't matter now. Did you learn? Did you grow? I learned that I don't need to be that way. No, that wasn't the lesson. Maybe the lesson was there for you to begin to see, wait a minute. Why is that person does this? Why is it people do this? Why are they hurting? Some of us, if there was not for hurt in our life, we wouldn't even know that hurt even existed. If there wasn't for hurt in our life, we wouldn't even be sympathetic to other people's situations sometimes. You know, I talk about disconnecting people that know me. And there's a danger in that. I admit there's a danger in disconnecting your emotions. And when I guess I have to apologize, it's not that I disconnect my emotions all the time. It's just that I disconnect my emotions when I realize it's about to change from what God is wanting me to do. If my emotions are going to cause me to stop doing what God says, then I have to unplug. That's how I have to move on and deal in spite of hurting. You got to stop expecting your situation to change and understand that sometimes the change comes from within. We've talked on this before. Sometimes we got to look at things and stop saying, I want everybody else to change, instead of saying, you know what, maybe I need to look at this totally differently. Maybe I need to change me. Maybe I'm the jerk in the situation. Maybe I'm the one that's looking at it wrong. You know? I remember when I was in the military, and I went to Spain. It was the first time I went to a nudist beach. And see, people that's been to a nudist beach understand there's a different thought process from people that's never been. People that's never been to a nudist beach, especially Americans, they think of lust and sex and think it's a real big orgy. And all these people walking around and, you know, you just get to holler and do whatever and just, you know, they think they really kind of think it's a hedonism type situation. But when you really go to a nudist beach, it is not that sexy. It's not people with six packs walking around. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You see big men like myself, big bellies and big women and people you look like, really, I really need to put something on. You know? And it's not a big orgy or anything like that, but what it really is people that are just saying, I'm free to be who I am. But it's a thought process. One person thinks that, ooh, it's sinful to go do this. Well, no, it's sinful because your mind is thinking lust. But these people don't have lust in their mind. Am I making sense here? But do you see how one person says this, that loves the Lord, it's sinful, it's sinful, it's sinful. And I'm not telling you to go to a nudist beach. I'm just giving an example. But it's sinful, it's lustful, and you know, the devil is a lie. I won't go into that. And then the people here says, we love the Lord and ain't nobody over here having sex and doing it on the beach, nothing like that. Ain't no lustful thoughts going on. Nothing like that. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I see more lust going on at a regular beach than I did in a nudist beach. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense here? We got to change our way of thinking. We got to realize, you know, I was sharing with some couples last night, you know, and it was so funny that this young man was attracted to this young lady, and this young lady didn't realize he was attracted to her because her way of thinking, she thought he was gay. So the whole conversation that they were having was different. She thought she was entertaining him because he was with a friend couple, and so they could have some time, and he was trying to actually talk to her, and the whole time they were conversing with each other, they were clicking, but yet they weren't. They were on two different levels. And so finally, I literally went up and I said, he's not. She was like, no, Pastor, he is. I said, okay, watch this. I said, excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question? I said, are you straight again? See, sometimes we got to cut the chase, right? He was like, I'm straight. No, well, and she was thrown. Because even though she was having a conversation, she was thinking one thing. And now guess what had happened? The change had to happen in her thought process. And this is the thing. We miss and we connect and talk every day, but we don't get it because we're not truly connecting. Because our mindset is here. Our mindset is, I'm thinking this. And God is saying, no, I'm not doing that. I'm thinking this. God has said, I'm trying to deliver you. You're saying, God, you're trying to hurt me. God has said, I'm trying to heal you. You're saying, God, you're stricken me. God is saying, I'm trying to educate you. You're saying, God, you're trying to restrain me. It's the same. It says, the word says, let this mind that be in you also be in Christ Jesus. The thing is, you have to have a renewing of the mind that you begin to focus like Christ. Think like Christ. Stop being so negative about the way you see things. Stop being negative about it. You know? You don't have to turn up and get upset with people. They disrespected me. Did they disrespect you, or are they just having a bad day? Well, I can't let people get away with it. Do you have to? Or is it for you? Because I also remember it says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. God says wrath belongs to him, not to you. So you ain't got to stand your ground. Let the Lord fight your battles. And then finally, we have to be like Christ. Christ understood and accepted his situation would not change. What do you mean by that, Pastor? He realized he still had to go to the cross. We want to fight it, don't we? We want to fight the inedible, don't we? We want to try to move away from it. Like what did I say in the very beginning? We got to take that medicine. We can't spit it out. Christ had to endure. Enduring is not going through and fussing your way. Enduring is not enduring when you complain your way. Enduring is not enduring when you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. Enduring is not enduring when you're not loving the way you're supposed to love. Enduring is not enduring when you're not having great conversation and loving on people. Enduring is not enduring when you still have an attitude and fussing all the way. Enduring is not enduring when you're pouting all the way. Enduring is not enduring when you're trying to find another way. Enduring is only enduring when you take it how it is and you do with it the way that you're supposed to, regardless of how you feel, how it tastes. That's enduring. Needless to say, when I moved out from my grandmother and I started staying with my mother when I was a teenager, I stopped taking sulfur, criminal motion, and Father John, and turpentine, and all that, and stopped taking baths with alcohol and bleach in it. Yes, I took a bath. No, ammonia. I had ammonia in my bath water and some bleach in my bath water every time I took a bath. So y'all know about that, do you? See, I look, I'm like, what is wrong with you? That is like why you probably got so many issues. You ain't wrapped too tight, inhaling all those fumes. Well, here's the reason. I never got sick, never got anything. It wasn't until I started staying and I stopped doing all that I caught chicken pox, I got sick, caught the flu, all of that stuff. Now, some of you may say that just happened at that time, but what do you think? I stopped doing that stuff that didn't taste. I stopped doing the stuff that didn't taste good to me and feel good to me, and I started living what was comfortable, and I opened myself up for illness. Yes, it was ammonia in my bath water. About this much ammonia, you know, something a little cap of bleach. Yeah. You know, but it is what it is. See, I grew up old school. If I want a bubble bath, I had to use some Joy dishwashing liquid. My brother know about that. No, he know about that. We ain't had no bubble bath and all that. You know, he used to go get some dish detergent to pour it in there. Water be green. from the green joy, you know, that's where I want to get the gold colored joy. Now understand, it only made enough bubbles for what it hit right then. So, and the bubbles went real quick. It'd be all bubbly right here in the front of the water. And then you try to move it back a little bit, you know, so you feel like you got a little bubble bath. But it ain't the same kind of bubbles, and you got the real bubble bath. Mr. Bubble did not come into my house when I was a kid. That's too rich for the blood. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I endure. I endured it. I did not take a bath because I did not like it. I had to take a bath. You know? Back then, we didn't take showers. You know? My grandma said only rich white folks took showers. I was in the bathtub.
We didn't have a shower head.
We
did have a shower head.
You didn't have a shower head. See, we had a lot of people, you know. I had a shower head and never used it. Looked up, what's that for? We didn't take showers. Got to soak. Run it all the way up and get all, submerge yourself all in that water and sit there. Sit in the bathtub for about 45 minutes. If you went in the bathtub for about an hour, you went in there long enough. You know? At least 30 minutes got to be in there. But the thing is, it was enduring. I had to endure. You know, I hated being in the bath. I had to come in when the street lights still weren't even on. It was daylight. Had to take a bath, get ready for school on Sunday, for Monday morning. And my friends out there still playing. And I hear them playing, and I'm sitting in the tub. But I had to endure it. You know, one time I thought I was slick. This is what we do with God. I'm closing. I ran the bath water, put everything in there, and then just sat outside the tub. Play with my play. See, man, I did all that. I might as well have gotten in the water, right? No, see, my brother, he did it too. He know that, like he did it too. Just refused to get in the water. I don't want to get in the bathtub. It's taking up too much of my time. So I just sit, play games, color my coloring book and everything else, and watch my friends out there playing. And then I let the water out. And grandma would come in, she was like, "You took your bath?" "Yes." "No, you didn't." Get the belt, run the water, beat me, put me back in the bath water. Why? Because she could tell your skin, your skin is different when you take a bath, but when you're young, you're stupid, you don't think about that. You smell like what you've been in, and none of that was on me, none of that smell was there. Then one time I did it, I thought I was slick again. I said, okay, I know my skin got to feel a certain way. So I jumped in the tub, got in there, got in the tub, splashed water, put water on my face, splashed it, and then got out. We got to whip it again, because she knew. But once again, y'all look at me like I'm crazy, those that watch it. Pastor, that doesn't make any sense. But this is what you do with God. You do the same thing. You play around when you could have went ahead and did what God said to do in the first place. But you fake it and you playing around with it. And it's like, you still gonna have to take that bath. You still gonna have to endure. You still gonna have to serve me. You still gonna have to do the right thing. So why are you playing with yourself? That's all you're doing is wasting time. And you can't avoid the inevitable. So go ahead, take the medicine, get in the tub, get cleansed, so you can go do what God says to. Christ realized it. No matter what, he had to go to Calvary. Not my will, but thy will be done. But you know what, God, I realize this is what it is. I'm going to make it happen. Are you going to make it happen? Are you going to keep running bath water waiting? And thinking that God's going to let it slide? Because guess what? That next day you're still going to be funky. And people can see your mess and smell you. And God has already seen you. Amen? Let us stand.